You made it to the weekend, and with a new weekend comes this further step closer to your third stimulus package. Yesterday, the finalization occurred and the law was enacted for the reconciliation bill. Now next is the third stimulus package. It's anchored to it and will be voted on in the next few days. Meantime, jobs numbers came out on Friday and they were not particularly good. What does that mean for stimulus after this? And what was Joe Biden's reaction to the situation? And why is going bigger and bolder more important than ever? And what did the numbers say in the jobs creations as to where stimulus needs to go next? Then, new reports suggest how many jobs are still not filled since the pandemic has hit, and how those jobs have not returned. And then the massive $50,000 student loan debt forgiveness. How that will be called for a vote in the next few days as well. Next week, big earnings from corporate America, including Twitter, Lyft, and DuPont. I'll have those details as well. And of course, it's a big football weekend. Are you ready to rock and roll? I am. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, and this is Early Mornings LA-Lite. Good morning, everybody. This is Early Mornings LA live from Los Angeles. What a big day it is. From Wall Street to Main Street, from my home to your home, thank you for joining me on a big morning's show. This is the first of a doubleheader. I'll be back at 6:30 with a continuation of Early Mornings LA. And before this was EIDL at 1 a.m. It was followed up by FPUC at 2 a.m. So make sure you catch those videos. If you've not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. The best darn channel there is out there, broadcasting around the globe 24/7. 9 days a week. No, not 9 days a week. 7 days a week. See if you're awake. 24/7, 365 days a year, and delivering you the incredible, comprehensive, and interactive financial news that you demand. So make sure you subscribe. Also like this video, and if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. In this recording, I have so much to go over, but first there's an instant chat premiere over there. As an instant premiere, you can super chat with your friends. Chat about stimulus, chat about what's going on this weekend. Give your predictions and give your hopes and desires. And with that, I'm so excited you're here with me this morning. I have a lot to go over. So with that, let's get to the breaking news. A $1,400 stimulus check is going to be coming to you. $2,800 a married couple, $1,400 for children, and $3,200 for adult dependents. Yesterday, a reconciliation bill was passed, and that reconciliation bill now sets up the vote for the $1.9 trillion stimulus package bill. It was not called for a vote. Rather, the reconciliation was called for a vote yesterday. But because the two are anchored together, paperclip together, rubber band together, it basically sets the vote up for the $1.9 trillion stimulus bill. It's just a question of what day. This is the mechanism of a reconciliation. Over the next few days, Nancy Pelosi is going to be working on the bill, and she says it will be called for a vote within about 2 weeks. In there will be a stimulus check for you as well. $1,400 for an individual, $2,800 for married couple, $1,400 for children, and $3,200 for adult dependent. FPUC will be retro back to January, then go forward $4 a week to September of 2021. That's about 40 weeks. That's a sizable amount of change. It goes on top of your UI and PUA, which could be $200 a week, $300 a week, $400 a week, depending if you do escalated benefits as detailed on this channel, and made over about $18,000, $20,000 in 2019 earnings. Well, you could see about $700 a week. Yeah, that's a lot of money. And that could amount to close to $30,000 between now and September, if you are unemployed for all those weeks, which no one certainly wants to be. So what was the reaction yesterday? Well, the Dow ended up slightly and NASDAQ up slightly as well. After hours, NFL made the major announcement that all 32 of its stadiums are being dedicated as mass vaccine distribution hubs. They're giving them to the president and the White House to be used for distribution on the next few weeks. Meantime, the White House reacted to the news, and so did Pelosi, of passing the reconciliation. On Monday, we'll begin working on the specifics of the bill, said Pelosi told News. I'm so thankful that our caucus stayed together in unity, said Chuck Schumer. We had no choice given the problems facing America and the desire to move forward, and we've moved forward. Joe Biden reacted to the situation as well. I was just not willing, Republicans were just not willing to go as far as I think they have to. And it was an easy choice between being bogged down in lengthy negotiations or getting a bill out the door, said Joe. I'm not cutting the size of checks anytime soon. He made also very clear. Friday came that jobs number, and it was not good. The jobs numbers came in with 49,000 new jobs created in the month of January, of which 6,000 were for private sector and the rest were government jobs. Not a good number. This is a national number, not a city number. It shows the job market remains in the clutches of the pandemic and will stay that way until we get broad vaccinations, and we're not going to stabilize the job market, says Marvin Lowe, Senior Global Market Strategist at State Street. Wall Street had been looking for a bigger number. Citigroup was looking at 250,000 new jobs. NatWest Markets was looking at 300,000. So $49,000 just sort of shocked everyone. But there was positive around the globe, and that came from the hours worked. Peter Bouchard, Chief Investment Officer at Bleakley Global Advisors, said, the positive is you had more hours worked. People were working longer for those who had jobs. That added to north of 7% over the years increase in average weekly earnings. This suggests that firms were able to get workers in the door, and as a result were forced to resort to longer hours for their existing workforce. Meantime, average hourly earnings increase. This means more stimulus. This report continues to signal we need the stimulus. That chances that it's a reconciliation versus a bipartisan approach is kind of front and center, said Lowe. But is the Great Recession around the corner or not? No, says Joe Biden, but Joe Biden makes clear yesterday that if you don't do the stimulus package, you do have a recession around the corner. Nearly 40% of jobless workers are long-time unemployed, said a new number coming out from the Department of Labor yesterday. For the first time in a while, we have a 6-month running number that compares joblessness over the last 6 months, and it now shows the highest rate of low long-term unemployment since the Great Recession. A massive hole is still in place as well when we talk about jobs. And that massive job hole shows that there's less than 10 million jobs being filled currently compared to before the pandemic. Meaning there's 10 million jobs at play now than even when the pandemic started. At that rate, it would take almost 29 years to get this economy back to normal. But the question is, how quickly could we get back to normal? And is something else on the horizon? Well, how you allocate money is a really big issue. Earlier this week, we heard about the child tax credit that came in from Mitt Romney, a new bill called this Family Security Act. It's not particularly going to happen. It's not particularly good. Why? Because it's being funded by cutting Social Security. With that, Chuck Schumer's never going to call for a vote. It'll never see the time of day. But even conceptually, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But the jobs number, it follows the jobless number on Thursday. That's a different number. Thursday, we look at how many new jobless numbers, new people who went on unemployment, happened in the week before. And Thursday's number came in at 779,000. That was below the estimate for Wall Street, 830, and showed an improvement of 33,000 people from the week before. But that's depending on where you're looking at the number. Illinois showed great progress. 55,000 less unemployed people than the week before, but California shot up with 46,000 more than the week before. And how about those executive actions? Yes, that is bill number 1. Bill number 1, $50,000 student loan debt forgiveness. It is happening, and it will happen. It will be law. Senator Warren, who co-signed the bill, said this is the single most effective executive action that Biden could take to kickstart this economy and help close the racial gap. Now, why did she say executive order? Because she's doing it with Chuck in a two-path approach. They're doing both a bill and then also pushing for executive order. Warren, Chuck, and also Ayanna Pressley met with Joe late this week, and pushed him to call it for a executive order. But in the event that he doesn't do it for executive order, they also introduce it as a resolution this week. And Warren said that this is absolutely critical. The struggling debt crisis has always been an economic justice and racial issue, said Pressley. And what are you expecting next week? I'm expecting a lot. Next week, Jerome Powell speaks in a conference in New York, so we're going to hear his takes on the stimulus debate. Then earnings reports come in next week. On Tuesday, it's Cisco, it's Twitter, it's Lyft, it's DuPont, it's Nissan, it's Centene, it's Martin Marietta, it's Masco, it's Fox Corp, Acme, and Haynes Celestial. So a lot of reporting coming next week. That will all impact your stimulus. And Jerome Powell, he's heading to the Economics Club of New York midweek to talk about stimulus. But is there a economic boom about to happen? Well, that's the hope, and Joe Biden made it very clear. Don't be worrying about inflation. We're too low on inflation now, so you shouldn't be worried about inflation. It's really going to have an economic boom and allowing the policy to support the boom, says Jim Caron, head of global macro strategies in Morgan. But Art Hogan, chief market strategist at Securities, said, rates are actually going up and express the potential economic activity. Then don't particularly worry. I think we're going to see it grind up slower, and you could see some bumps along the road if stimulus takes a little bit of a breather for a day or two. But other than that, don't really worry. And I wouldn't worry as well as either. I would worry if you don't watch the video after this one. At the 6:30 edition. The continuation of Early Mornings LA kicks up in just a few minutes. This video will forward you to that video. So when this video is done, you'll get it automatically forwarded to the 6:30 edition. But in the meantime, make sure you subscribe, hit that alert button, and like this video. I want to make sure that you get all the information you need, all the information you can get. So become a Purple Power member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power on Calcino VIP. Join me at 6:30 for continuation, and I'll see you also at 8:30 a.m. for Mornings LA. Have a great morning. Stay informed, stay focused, stay in LA for more.